In 2007, Sydney Airport will welcome the first Singapore Airlines Airbus A380 commercial flight. This has meant massive upgrades to the airport and a dedicated team to make it happen.
The immediate team, we've probably got about 30 people, designers, managers, and then we've got the contractor who will probably be employing about 50 or 60 people at any one time.
We're upgrading the aero bridges in the bays, realigning taxiway Gulf, strengthening the General Holmes Tunnel Bridge.
You can see behind me the structural steelwork being erected for the new fixed link. The new air bridges, of which there'll be 3, will be connected to that and be ready to go for the first A380 plane.
The major thing with the design of the new gates for the A380 is that they have 3 aero bridges instead of 1.
The proximity of the 3 bridges is very close. We just have the middle door of the A380 and the upper deck door together. There's only 2 metres clearance between the bridges, which is not very much when you're driving 30 tonnes of steel towards each other.
The tunnel itself, as it was built about 30 years ago, it was built out of just normal cast-in-situ concrete. We were lucky that it actually had quite a lot of overlay over the top of the tunnel, which meant we had a bit of depth to play with in terms of coming up with a strengthening solution.
We had an existing taxiway that's not capable of taking the larger aircraft, and our role was to excavate out the existing taxiway in sections, replace the materials and then put a concrete topping on for the larger aircraft.
You might only get an hour of productive work in a day, then the rest of the time is actually putting it back together for the aircraft for the next day, then coming back the next night, digging up and maybe getting only another hours or 2 hours production. So yeah, it's a different way of thinking to a normal greenfield site.
Everything's on a larger scale. The existing fixed link was a smaller structure. This structure with the 3 aero bridges connected to it to allow for the planes with a vast number of passengers.
The sheer size of the aircraft means that there are potentially congestion problems on the apron. So SACL had to think their way through where they could handle and how they could handle the aircraft in the park position up against the terminal. It really is a matter of size.
Oh, it's massive. It's a huge beast.
Everything's got to be heavy duty, so you're putting in thicker pavement. The quality is very important.
Sydney's the only airport that we've been involved in which is docking the A380 with 3 air bridges simultaneously.
It's the whole gamut of a team that comes together to produce what's the best solution for project.
Simplicity was the key, quickness, basically using proven techniques.
The concrete that we're using is a special type of concrete for the A380 and for airport works. And the unique properties about it is that it's got flexural strength. And with the A380 being as big and as heavy as it is, it's got to carry that weight.
The existing taxiway Gulf encroached onto the clearance between the runway and taxiway, so we actually had to straighten the taxiway to get that clearance.
The standards require 75 metres of paved runway or sealed surface on the runway itself. Just space.
Coming up with solutions that had minimal impact to both the road traffic underneath as well as the operations of the airport, I think were probably the most demanding challenges that had to be overcome.
It's a huge amount of work at Sydney Airport, probably more than a lot of other airports have had to do.
When the 747 sort of came around, it was the new revolution aircraft, and it just made, you know, inexpensive travel just open to everybody. And I think the A380 is just the next generation of aircraft that will actually do the same thing.
It's been a unique experience because it's rare that something comes along that changes an airport as much as this has.
I think we're all making a bit of history with the plane coming, and it's just changing of the times. It's quite exciting to be involved in that.
To make travel a lot more affordable and open it up to the general community, and I think that's just brilliant. I think that's what it's all about.